Welcome to another episode of Coaching Caffeine and Comedy, and I'm your host, Haley Kobza. Today we have on, oh wow, okay, let me try this again. Today we have with us another one of our awesome assistant coaches from McCook Community College. This coach, however, is just coming off of her season where they have set the bar for MCC softball. For the first time in history at McCook Community College, we have won the NJCAA Region 9 Championship with softball. So let me welcome our MCC assistant softball coach, Coach Maddie Kaalberg.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's good.
Good. This is so fun. I can't wait to get your dad on here too.
That'll be
great.
That'll be a treat.
And that's a good word.
I know, right?
That'll be good. Okay. So you've listened to a few of these before, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna start off with a warm up. This is a little bit. This is a different warm up.
This is the part I don't like.
This one's tough
podcast,
though. This one's kind
I
of
have
tough.
to think about it.
This one's tough, but you're gonna be fine.
Why tough?
Hold on, I gotta get my phone. Okay, so this is how it's gonna go. I'm going to give you a letter, and then you have 15 seconds to come up with as many words that start with that letter.
That is a lot of work for me right now.
But it can't be a person. Okay.
Okay.
So it can be like, if I say M, you can't say Maddie.
That's unfortunate.
Right. Okay. So here's the deal, though. You're going to get 3 letters.
Wait, 3?
3 letters. I'm going to give you one at a time.
Oh.
15 seconds,
okay.
1 letter. You need to, and each word that you come up with is 1 point, and you need 30 points.
Wow.
And if you don't get 30 points, there'll be a consequence at the end.
I don't like that.
Okay, I like it.
Why do I have a consequence? Why does nobody else have consequences?
So here's the deal, though. If you win, I have a consequence, basically. Which, okay, you ready?
Oh,
here we go.
okay.
We're going. All right.
Okay.
For example, just to make sure you're on the same page, if I say B, you'd say
boot.
Good. Okay.
Is that
right.
what we're doing? Just any word?
Yep. All right. I'm going to start it. I'm going to give you the letter.
All right.
M.
Monkey, monster, mask, mate.
What? You're so good.
Marker, mustard, mayonnaise, milk.
Wow. Maddie, that was good. That was really good. Oh my goodness. You got this. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Next letter. K.
Kangaroo, kite, Kong. That's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a dog Kong.
Right.
That's a thing. Why can I not think of K words?
You did so good with the M.
Well, what's it? K's?
K.
Give me some K words.
Kite?
I said kite. I feel like this is setting me up for failure right now.
Okay, that's K's tough.
I
just did
know.
K because of Kobza, but you couldn't have said my name. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm giving you this next letter is really easy.
Okay.
And you're at 11 right now, so you need to like really rip these out. You need 30.
Oh my God.
Maybe 30's too far, but it's okay. All right, ready? S.
Sister. Stock. Sail. Soul. Sight. Sing.
Okay, not bad. You got to 16.
That's unfortunate.
It's okay, but you did. That was really good, though. I'm still really impressed with your M.
That
knocked
was
it
an
down.
impressive one.
Okay, so
I
you lost.
I did lose.
It's okay. So I won't make anything too crazy. Let's just say we'll call it even with a Jolt and Joe's drink.
Deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to do it before I leave, though.
Or in August. I'll just remember
Or in
this.
August.
I'll
We're going to remember
when you
this.
come back.
We're going to remember this. I'll remember it.
Okay. Here we go. Are you ready?
Sure.
You feel warm? You good?
Sure.
Okay. So I think one of the coolest things about you, well, you have 2 really cool things about you that we're going to talk about. The first one is the fact that you came into this world a twin. That's fun. So tell me a little bit about the twin life. Who's older?
My brother is older.
Okay.
By 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it is a brother. I do not have a sister.
Clearly not identical.
Yeah, not even close, actually. He is about 6'1", 280. Like, he's a big dude. Yeah. And I'm 5'2". So clearly I did not get the height in our family, which is fine. I've embraced it my whole life. But yeah, growing up, him and I were not exactly the best of friends.
Really?
To be honest, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you knew anybody from back home, which is in Iowa, we were not close. One would say that we actually didn't like each other at all. Despised. Growing up, we were just two very different people, and we were together all the time. And they always say that with twins, if they're like girl or boy, they always say that you're kind of inseparable. But Reed and I were not. We wanted to be away from each other as much as possible until we graduated. Once we graduated and went to college, we went separate ways. And the next day after he moved me in, he started calling me and telling me that he missed me. So it was not all sunshine and rainbows growing up, but once we actually went our separate ways, we actually started to realize how much we actually loved each other. It was a sibling rivalry for sure.
When you were younger, what sports did you guys play?
I mainly stuck to softball once I got older, like in 8th grade and high school. I mainly
just played softball.
Yeah. Okay. I think I went out for volleyball once, maybe my freshman year of high school, and I never did it again. But I did softball year round. So I would travel and do indoor leagues, winter stuff, all that good jazz. And then my brother was actually a soccer player. Yeah.
They have soccer in Iowa.
Yes, we do. We do. He actually went to college for soccer.
Oh, really?
Yes. Huh. He's very, very book smart. So he went to Cornell, which is in Mount Vernon, Iowa. And he started out by going and playing soccer. He quickly changed career paths because he realized that he didn't actually want to do as much schooling as he thought when he wanted to be a lawyer. So now he is a special education / behavioral disabilities teacher.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He's a cool dude.
Did your dad ever coach you?
Yes. Pretty much my whole life.
Oh, really?
From when I was in travel ball, starting at like 10 and 11.
Coach you, or like he was actually your coach?
He was actually my travel ball coach.
Oh my.
He was actually my travel ball coach.
You guys have been like inseparable.
Yeah, kind of.
Pretty much.
Yeah, kind of.
Because
one would say we're kind of two peas in a pod.
Well, because that brings me to my second coolest thing about you is that the head coach at McCook Community College is Maddie's dad. Yay. Which is so fun that you two coach together and that you haven't like killed him or he hasn't killed you or vice versa.
Not yet.
I mean, that might sound a little harsh, but
not yet.
What? So your dad clearly never coached Reed, your brother.
He did like when we were younger, when we would do like soccer, which was like mixed, like boys and girls soccer, like club kind of thing.
Right.
He would coach us for that when we were younger. But after that, he started doing softball, travel softball.
What was like when your dad coached you? What was tough about having your dad be the coach of you?
I think anybody who has their parent coaching them can attest to this. And when your parent is coaching you, they seem to be way harder on you than they are on anybody else. So that was always kind of tough because I didn't exactly like to listen when I was growing up. I still don't like to listen sometimes, but that's okay. But yeah, I would say that was probably the hardest because I knew he was just trying to push me, but it always seemed a little bit more personal than that because he was my dad.
Right.
And I think that's the same with anybody who has a mom or dad that's coaching them. It's always different.
Okay, so what was the perk of having him be your coach?
I was always on time. If I was with my dad,
Right.
I was always on time.
Uh-huh.
Always.
Oh,
If I wasn't with my dad, it was up for debate.
what do you feel like your dad, when you played, like, what did he, like, he taught you the game of softball, but, like, what did he really teach you about softball?
To be honest, he was that parent that knew what it meant to have work ethic and knew what it meant to be humble. And growing up, that's what he always tried to teach me, because we would do, I would practice one-on-one with him a lot, and we would do a lot of stuff. But when it got like to me getting older and trying out for like our varsity team and everything, like I knew, because of him, I knew if I wasn't good enough, and I knew what I had to do to work harder. And so he helped me make that mentality. He didn't just let me think that I was the best thing in the world and, God's best creation kind of thing. He made me work for what I wanted.
Right.
So on the flip side of that, yes, he was hard on me, but it was for good reason. Mm-hmm. And I understand that now. Maybe didn't back then, but I definitely do now.
So switching roles. Now your dad's not your coach. You are a coach with your dad. What are the perks of that?
I would say, and it's one of the biggest things that him and I talk about, even when we're recruiting. We look for the same thing in kids. Mm-hmm. We see different things, which kind of helps the other one when we're like, hey, I see this. What do you see? Like fundamental wise, attitude wise, like how they carry themselves. We both see the different details that we need to, which is nice. But the biggest thing I would say is that we have this similar philosophies. Mm-hmm. So when he's off doing one thing with a few girls and I'm off doing something else with them, we don't really have to worry about each other because we teach the same thing.
Right.
So, it goes hand in hand. We work really well because our fundamentals and our teaching of how we do the fundamentals are the same.
Right. Because your dad was your coach.
Yeah.
And so you know exactly what he wants. And
yeah. I've definitely adapted over the years too.
Yeah.
Not just with him, but with coaching in general, like working with other coaches, seeing how other coaches work, how they teach, how they go about different things. Him and I have both actually adapted, and I think that's one of the biggest things with coaching. I'm a big believer in if it works, it works. Don't mess with it. Mm-hmm. But if there's something that needs adjusting, you have to make that adjustment. And so him and I are very big on that. If we need to adjust something with what we're doing, we do it. Right. Because can't do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result,
Yeah. I think your dad, actually, I don't know if it was you or your dad that we talked about that, like swinging. I'm like, why does everyone have a different swing, a different stance, and
yes, that was me.
That was you. And you're like, not everybody can swing the same. And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't, I'm just asking, but which is very true. Like everyone has a different body. Everyone has different, everything. So you gotta.
Yeah. Nobody moves the same.
Right.
You teach the same things. You might word it differently, which I've had to do a lot. Especially with college kids and junior college especially. You have incoming freshmen whose minds work differently than the returners that you have that understand how you work and understand what you're saying exactly. I've had to reword how I instruct things so when it comes across to them they understand.
Right.
So that's always been a big thing. And I've noticed it a lot, especially coaching at a junior college level, as opposed to like high school where you have them all at the same time, regardless of the age group.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What are the difficulties of coaching with your dad?
The fact that
he can't
my
fire
dad,
you because you're his daughter.
Yeah. The fact that he's my dad is a struggle in its own. Because him and I have to be able to communicate when we're angry and happy, not just happy. And so, sometimes the way he says things, I don't necessarily agree with it, or we do have our arguments, but to be honest, as I've grown and as he's grown, it's actually gotten a lot easier to communicate, because I can tell him how I feel, why I want to do this. And now that I'm coaching with him at this level, I can say, hey, I'm going to do this. Even if you don't like it, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. He's
right.
like, okay. He trusts me in that, and it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you see your dad ever working with a different assistant coach? Like, what do you think that would be like?
I don't know. I've thought about it.
Uh-huh.
I've thought about what he would be like with somebody else, because he can say a lot more with me
right.
than he
Sure.
can with other people,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because I'm his daughter and we're close. But I don't know. He would have to adapt to their philosophies or their way of thinking, and it would probably be a little bit of a struggle at first,
Mm-hmm.
like it is with anybody. I mean, if I were to go somewhere else and coach, I would say that it's going to be a little struggle at first, because you have to figure out what, how they teach, what they teach, how they go about instructing, how they go about responding to different situations, especially.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's all about adapting. I feel like he would be able to do it at some point if he had to,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see.
Do you feel, I'm guessing, like, what are your strong points? Like, what does your dad give you as to coach? Like, is he like, Maddie, this is your field, go for it?
Yeah. He definitely does. I do a lot of offensive work. I love teaching the fundamentals of hitting. 'Cause like and I've even noticed over the years, and I'm 27, and I've noticed even in a short amount of time that I have been coaching, I've noticed that there's some coaches out there who, figure out their own philosophy, and
Mm-hmm.
and if it works, it works. And I go about basic fundamentals and making sure they understand their swing. I feel like that's a really big thing, especially in the fall. We break things down, and they understand why their body does what it does during certain swings, and they can feel it when it's not exactly right, but they're still getting good results. I mean, it's never going to be perfect every time, but that's another thing I have to really work on, is not being perfect every time. The girls try to be, and I tell them that they physically can't. Physically and mentally cannot. Mentally, yes, you can be perfect in every world, but when the actual outcome occurs, it's definitely not possible.
So that's your strong suit.
Yes.
What is your dad's?
To be honest, I would also say offense.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm.
That was always my strong suit when I was playing. At the previous college that I helped at, that was what I mainly worked with, was hitters. But that's what my dad has done as well with me growing up. And all the girls that I played travel ball with, we all played for the same travel ball team with my dad, and then we all played for the same high school team in the same year, every year for 4 years. So that was good.
So before Maddie's dad, Kevin, got this job, he was a full-time, was he like a CEO or something? I don't know. He managed a hospital's finances
CEO.
or something. I don't know. Maybe that's a little absurd. What was he? What?
He was a finance director.
Okay, of a hospital, right?
Yes, the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics.
Okay.
He was a finance director in cardiovascular center.
Okay. So he pretty much had a big job.
Yeah.
So what was your first impression when you found out that he applied for a junior college job in McCook, Nebraska, and he got it?
I knew he had been applying for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and to other places. So, I knew he was kind of on that path. He was ready to be done with something that he's good at and ready to do something that he loves. Because he's really good at math. He's really good at math. He's always been good at math, numbers, Excel sheets, spreadsheets, you name it. He can do it in his head within seconds. And So that's what he went for in his job because he was good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did mainly his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something that he actually liked to do. So he finally got to the point that he was like, I'm not getting any younger. I'm going to go try and do something that I love instead of hate.
So did he get into softball just because of you guys?
Yeah. He coached my sister and I
Okay.
when we were younger. She is a few years older than me. So he coached her for a couple, I think, little league with t-ball stuff.
And that's how he got into it, basically, was because of your older sister.
Yeah.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
look at that, Kevin. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. Where do you see your dad in 5 years?
He's definitely going to be coaching softball. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
If it's here, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
You never know.
I
You
think,
never know with coaching.
yeah, I think he wants to try and get to, as high of level as he is comfortable with, and I don't really know what that is. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this McCook is his first college opportunity in coaching, so I mean, he's definitely learning a lot and learning what he likes, what he doesn't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's just going to keep going until he can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does your brother do now?
My twin brother.
Yeah, your twin brother. Super random. I was just thinking. About this.
He also coaches softball.
Oh, isn't he coaches club or travel or something?
He was coaching travel. I don't know if he's still going to be doing that or not. I don't think he's decided yet. But he was coaching at a high school this last summer. I actually helped him out a little bit on a volunteer basis. And he actually left that job last month, I think, and he got an assistant job at another high school coaching softball. So he's assisting their varsity team and coaching their freshman sophomore team.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So he's doing that on top of teaching.
Mm-hmm. So as all the other assistants here at the college, you also have another position, which is a resident life assistant. How much fun is that? Which is, it's a good gig. It's a good gig.
It is. Yeah. It is.
What's the craziest thing you've seen being in RLA?
I don't know if I can repeat that.
Okay. That's probably a good point.
I don't. Yeah.
What about? Okay.
I definitely can't repeat that.
Nope. Good job, Maddie. Look at you.
I know. Holding it in.
Let's
we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Off air. No comment. What is something that you enjoy about being in RLA?
To be honest, I love everything about the student life aspect. I enjoy getting to know every student as opposed to just my own softball players. Mm-hmm. I enjoy getting to know all the other athletes because our dorm is 90 to 95% athletes. So it's not super town based. We have a lot of athletes from a lot of countries as well. I don't exactly remember the number, but we do have a ton. But I like getting to know them. They like getting to know me. And part of our job is just kind of them knowing that we're there,
right,
if they need us. And so I've gotten to know them a lot. And I think that's fun. I like to know everybody by name. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I can walk in our dorm, I can walk on our campus and say hi to everybody by name pretty much every day. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy having another job outside of coaching.
Yeah. And especially because then you're going to meet, you're going to meet other players, also different athletes, and you're also going to meet all the other assistant coaches too.
Yeah.
Do you guys like hang out?
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, it's good. Me and Hannah Emerson, the assistant volleyball coach. Yes. I love her. We have a good time. We actually currently live together. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it stays that way.
Jerome, if you're listening.
Jerome, yes, if you're listening, please leave us in the same house. But yeah, we currently live together. I think she's awesome. We do have an age gap. I'm like one of the oldest RLAs. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, it doesn't really faze me, especially on the coaching side of it, because you all of us have similar aspects of life.
Right.
And how we go about things might be different, but that's how every coach is.
Right.
But yeah, it's super cool. I enjoy meeting everybody. I think all the coaches are really fun to talk to and hang out with.
I enjoy not even just the assistant coaches. Well, I've enjoyed getting to know the assistant coaches by doing this. It's like we never like have that opportunity to like, I don't even know if that's a horrible excuse. It's not that I don't have the opportunity. I just don't choose to go and like speak to everybody.
Right.
And I need to do better because like you can learn something from everybody.
Yeah.
And we're pretty much all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You guys just have a different level of it.
Yeah.
Which a little bit more stressful probably, but it's also, you get the fun aspect of it too.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
We don't have all the heavy duty
Right.
stuff that we have on our plates like head coaches do.
Mm-hmm.
But we still get to enjoy everything else with meeting each other, hanging out, meeting all the other students. Honestly, getting to know all staff, even from North Platte. Mm-hmm. That's also kind of neat because we end up meeting them every year, a couple times a year. We get together with them and talk about student life stuff, and it's kind of nice to get other people's perspective.
As an assistant coach, what do you think is the number one thing that they need to be good at?
Number one thing
Mm-hmm.
that they need to be good at?
Like if you were giving an assistant coach advice, what's one thing that they need to be good at doing?
I would probably say having a backbone. I think
to like,
in coaching in general,
mm-hmm.
I would say you need to be able to have a backbone. You need to have confidence in what you're doing, and be able to say, this is how we're doing it. This is not how we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And, stand up for what you're doing to run your program.
Right.
And help your head coaches run their program.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I had to learn really early on, because I started helping at a college level when I was 22, I think. So I had to learn really quickly that because I was so young and so close to their age, I had to be able to separate myself, and that wasn't easy.
For sure.
To start out, but I learned it really quick because I knew that this is what I wanted to do, and if I wanted to do it, I needed to switch sides.
Right.
But the other thing was being confident when I was doing. The head coach that I worked under, she was really, really big on that, even for her players and herself, not just me. And she would all the time talk about being humble, be confident in what you're doing, be a little selfish,
mm-hmm.
kind of. And that's, that's in a good way. You should always have a selfish side. You have to be confident in what you're doing, and if somebody doesn't like it, that's okay.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
And you're saying that as in like the players.
Yeah.
Yeah, like make sure that you're running the program and not
mm-hmm.
them. And
yeah.
even though you're an assistant coach, they still have to respect you.
Yes.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I mean, I know just like with my assistant, with Coach Hannah this last year, there were some things that some of the players said to her, and sometimes it happens to me too. And it's just like, but they think, since she's the assistant, no.
They can just say whatever they want.
Yeah, no, and that's not the case. And
yeah.
But that also just baffles the crap out of me too. Like, where did they do this and they thought that was ever okay?
Yeah.
Like, even to this day, I'm like afraid of every coach I had. I'm not afraid of them. I respect them.
Yeah.
To never tell them that.
Yeah.
Assistant coach or head coach.
Yeah. Some of the things that I've heard, even on the softball side of it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the things that people have tried to say or comment on, I'm like, absolutely freaking not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Who are you?
Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
First of all.
Uh-huh.
Second of all.
Right.
If that's how you feel, then you need to go.
Exactly. And it's such an odd deal. It's like, as coaches, you're working for the athletes, but yet they're also working for you.
Right.
it's you know, and I don't know, it's crazy. As a coach, what is the craziest thing that you've had to deal with? You can talk about that.
Can I?
Can you?
I don't know.
What is,
You've heard some very entertaining stuff from me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a repeatable thing.
What about what has been the most interesting? Or something you're like, this is going down in my book.
Oh. I don't think I can pick a top 5 because those aren't, I don't think I can repeat those.
I'm just trying to think like right now.
You know a lot of things.
I do know a lot of things. Softball girls are great.
They are.
They're great.
They're crazy.
I think most of my funnies
great.
always have to do funnies. Is your father?
Yeah.
That man.
Yeah.
He's as emotional as he is. Is Reed?
I would say Reed is, yeah.
Really?
I would say I'm also emotional.
Really?
But to be honest,
I do not see that one bit.
Yeah. I usually don't try to expose it. My emotional side usually stays pretty hidden. Like even when we won the region tournament, I mean, my dad, he was, we weren't even done with the game yet, and he was choked up when people were still hitting bombs over the fence. And I'm just like, yeah, we got to keep going though.
Right.
We got to get all the way through the 7 innings. But I mean, yeah, when we won, it was great. It was one of the best experiences, you could ever have. I mean, the girls get, a medal and you get a plaque, and it's something that you can forever hold on to.
Yeah. That's forever with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a very emotional guy. And I don't think I did shed a tear on that field. I think afterwards I did, for sure.
What made this team this year, the Region 9 champions, different than the other 2 teams that you've coached before here?
Yeah, 1.5. One and a half teams. Because we were here all year last year.
Right. And then
COVID. Yeah, 2.5 months of COVID.
Yeah. So what made this team different?
Honestly, they're all very different. And I say that in a good way.
The people or the teams?
The players, my players.
The players.
The ones that play for me.
Yeah.
They're all very different in good ways and bad ways, for sure. But I would say that the difference in mentality has definitely been a huge thing, because a lot of these girls, when we first started off, it was a little rocky. And I think we were 11 and 13, and I was like, what the actual hell are we doing? But after that, I mean, things started clicking, and I wasn't really too worried about it. We were gonna end up how we were gonna end up, and it was all gonna be based on how they decided to execute everything that they've learned so far. And they definitely went into this spring season with a mentality of, who cares? Let's do it. Who cares? If we lose, we lose. Oh well, let's go win the next one. Who cares?
Right.
Who cares? That was the biggest thing, is you could see that they were doing that, and I didn't really talk to them a whole lot about it, because we had a couple tough games later in the spring, but I think that was still their mentality going in, was, who cares? Let's do it. Let's do it for us. And show everybody what we're made of.
And that they did.
Yeah.
So cool.
They didn't really have a care in the world.
Yeah.
They don't usually on a softball field. You can tell off the field they do. I can always tell. They think I don't know them, but I do. It's kind of creepy.
As a coach, I always, it's like when you have a player and you're like, oh my goodness, this was so me when I was in college. Have you ever had one of those players? Or who do you think most resembles college Maddie?
College Maddie was not was not a normal Maddie that anybody has ever seen, I don't think.
Okay, let's just the one that most resembled you.
That's a tough one. It's tough because I don't know if I should expose myself or not. Because you know all my softball players.
I know, and now I need to know.
I was pretty quiet. Like, I wasn't really a super outgoing person, like, out in public, but I was, like, on the field and in my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. Ashlyn Baca is definitely somebody that I would probably relate to. She works really hard. You don't really hear her a lot, but she works really hard regardless if you're watching or not.
Wait, so that was you?
Yeah. For softball. Mm-hmm. On the softball side. Uh-huh. And I know Ashlyn Baca outside of softball.
Uh-huh.
I know a lot of things about Ashlyn Baca outside of softball.
Were you just like Ashlyn Baca outside of softball?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would probably say maybe slightly worse.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just really loved being away from home. I was one of those college kids.
Right. Yeah.
That embraced being away from home my first couple years of college.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Where did you go to college?
Muscatine Community College.
Where's that?
It's in Iowa. It's a D1 junior college.
Muscatine.
Yes.
What were they? The Musketeers?
No, we were actually the Cardinals. Way back when we were actually the Indians, my sister actually went there and played softball. So I actually...
Oh my gosh. Falling apart. Continue.
I actually followed in her footsteps. She was a catcher. She played for the same coach at that college. And then I went there as a third baseman and played for that same coach.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they no longer have athletics now.
Really?
Yeah, they only have baseball and softball. So it was already kind of a stretch.
Right.
With athletics in that area. I mean, you had to travel a long ways to play teams that you needed to play, but it wasn't bad. Yeah.
What was the funniest memory of you in your softball career?
Of me and my softball career?
Mm-hmm. When you played?
In a high school or college or both?
Both.
From a softball side of it, I would probably say in high school, I actually broke the same ankle twice by sliding wrong into a base.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. If you slide wrong, it doesn't work very well.
Did you have PTSD from that? Like, did you ever slide again?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Oh,
it was, but that was, in my earlier softball years. Once I got through high school and everything, it was good. But yeah, early on, I did that twice.
No.
I did that twice. Yeah.
No. It just makes me think of that girl on TikTok that I showed you.
Oh.
She's funny. And she was talking about sliding into base.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked like me.
I
was the late slider.
Oh.
Yeah, I was the late one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was that person.
Maddie.
But that's okay. I learned eventually how to do it.
Is there like a different, should you slide feet or hand, or does it matter?
I never usually recommend head first. I never usually recommend that.
Why is that?
Because you can get fingers smashed by cleats stepping on you.
Okay.
And depending on where you're sliding, you could actually have a head-on collision. So like at home plate, absolutely never do I want them to slide head first. Because if you're sliding head first into catchers who have gear on, that can be a sticky situation, and you have to worry about your head and your neck at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody usually recommends going head first. But I've worked with a lot on different slides, like hook sliding, going around the base to get away from a tag instead of trying to slide straight in, so they can kind of keep their body out of it. There's some situations where you have to go straight in with your feet, but I mean, there's others. So like when people like Taylor Tyne and Nevaeh Ogden are stealing bases, it's really fun to watch because I mean they're so fast. They're so fast. But if it's a tag that's going to be close, they usually slide to the outside of the bag so that they can't get a tag on them. They're quick and they're athletic and it works. It's not for everybody. Not everybody can do it. But it's definitely something nice to have as an option.
When you said out, like, what'd you say, around the base or something? Or outside of the base? My mind was thinking, how far away can you run from the base?
There is a base path that you can't actually go outside of.
Interesting.
Yeah,
See,
it's an imaginary base path. But it does exist.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, it does exist. If you were to go like
too far
way out into the grass and then try to go back in, then you would be like you can't do that. But yeah, there isn't. I
probably won't be coaching my kids' softball team.
That's
insane.
Fair. That's fair.
I don't know everything.
You don't need to.
Yeah, and you've seen me hit, so.
I did see you hit.
Yeah, your dad won't ever let me. I was like, it's not that bad.
I feel like we should try again.
We could try.
I feel like we should try again.
Yeah, without your.
You
dad
can see
there.
me hit
without your dad there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do better if I watch somebody and then I try to like follow by example.
You can see me hit.
Yeah, I mean you're 5'2" though.
Yeah.
A little bit taller. Probably have a different stance.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. What are you currently watching on TV?
What am I watching? I like to rewatch shows a lot.
Okay, a lot of people keep telling me that. I'm like, what? Like I
like to rewatch shows.
Okay.
I'm a really big fan of Friends. So like my family has YouTube TV, which is like a nicer version of cable basically.
Right.
Like it's a nicer version of Netflix. Like you get all the normal TV channels so you can watch, whenever your show comes on at whatever time. I watch Friends a lot.
Okay.
I've watched Friends since I can remember. And you can thank my dad for that.
Who do you think you're more like on Friends? Monica, Phoebe, or Rachel?
I'm definitely not Monica because I'm definitely not a clean freak. I'm OCD in other ways, like softball and like detail oriented,
right?
On that side, but not cleaning wise. That's not me. I'm also not Rachel because I don't really care how I look fashion wise.
So you're
I like
Phoebe.
sweatpants. Yeah, I would probably say Phoebe.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm, that hippie, but
yeah,
I'm definitely probably more like her.
Okay.
Probably, I would say.
What's your favorite podcast?
Coaching, Caffeine, and Comedy.
That a girl. That's what I like to hear. That was a good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna get brownie points for that.
What's your caffeine of choice? And let's go Jolt and Joe's caffeine. What do you like from Jolt and Joe's?
Jolt and Joe's caffeine of choice. I get, I think I get your drink quite a bit, the Kobza.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But I actually started getting dark chocolate and banana with almond milk. Extra shot as usual. I like my espresso shots.
Yeah.
Give me all the extra shots you can give me.
I like it.
Is
that a real banana that they put in there?
I have
or just banana flavor?
Absolutely no idea. I just asked for it one day because I saw it and it looked good. So I
did it.
Just made it up. They should call it Maddie.
They should call
the Maddie drink.
And I'm like, I'm just like keep waiting for them to actually put like a Kobza up there. But
if they would put that on their actual menu, I would love that. They should do that.
Okay, if you could pick any person that's listening to this podcast right now, who would it be and what would you say to them?
That's tough because I don't know who all listens to this.
I know, but you just got to think, like, if anybody was listening to this podcast, and you got to think, like, let's shoot for the moon. Everybody listens to this. If they don't,
okay.
Well, clearly they need to start.
Clearly, yes. Does it matter if they're listening or not?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
You just got to think, like, if anybody was listening, who would it be? What would you say to them?
That's a tough one. Honestly, I would, if I were to go with a good choice, I would probably say my grandma.
Oh.
So my dad's mom.
Okay. Oh, bless your heart if you are listening.
I'm named after her, so I get brownie points for that.
Yeah.
She is probably the sweetest little lady on the planet.
And she raised your
father. And she raised my father along with 3 other boys older than him.
Oh, man.
Yeah. She did it all by herself and working full time.
Wow.
She's quite the lady. And she's honestly by far the main person that all of us in our family kind of revolve around is her.
Mm-hmm.
It all starts with her.
Like? Are they like your dad?
Oh yeah. They're all yeah. When they get together, they're usually causing trouble. But my oldest uncle is actually my godfather. He's cool. He's in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Along with my aunt and cousins up there. And my other 2, one is in Iowa still, has a daughter that is at the University of Iowa, which is cool. My other one actually passed away this last winter. So that was a little tough.
Mm-hmm. I remember hearing about that. Sorry. I guess I never realized that your dad was the baby of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is the baby of 4.
That's why we have so much in common.
Are you the baby of 4?
I'm also the baby of 4.
Oh, there you go.
That's why he gets so sassy sometimes.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I think, like, every
he
time
likes
I'm
giving
like,
his 2 cents, that's for sure.
I'm like, I'll call you and be like, I think your dad's mad at me.
And my usual response is, yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yep.
For whatever reason. I don't know yet, but.
Yeah. I'll find out.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Mm-hmm. Who would you recommend? Coolest person that you know that should be on this podcast?
Ooh. That's a good one. Coolest person I know?
Mm-hmm.
I have to name somebody the coolest person I know?
Yeah, like they're like, oh my gosh, you got to get this person on here.
I have to ask, did you already get Andy White on here?
Oh my gosh, I did. His is coming up.
That's a good one.
Like Andy's like, I like Andy.
That would be a good one.
He is good.
He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah. Big fan. I don't know. That's a hard one.
Okay, think about it.
I don't know who I would suggest. I don't know.
Besides your dad. I'm getting him on here.
That'll be entertaining.
That'll be
for
very entertaining. I might lose a few people or gain some.
My brother would be really entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. He's very opposite of me.
Mm-hmm. So, I met him one time. I've only met him one time.
So super outgoing.
Yeah.
Super loud. Comfortable in his environment always, regardless of where he's at. He would be really funny. Yeah. He's a funny dude.
Yeah. Well, when he comes to McCook next time, we'll have to get him on here. If he ever comes to McCook.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
He tries to once a year, but I don't know.
Okay. And to end it, if I asked you to give me one quote off the top of your head, what would it be?
That's hard. I feel like I don't read enough to know
to give
quotes,
a quote.
You know?
Okay. What about best advice?
In general?
Mm-hmm.
Or athletics wise?
In general. Or athletics, either way.
This is a lot harder than I anticipated. You can say what my dad is now saying.
What's that?
Which is really funny. The last like couple weeks of our season, he started really following like this line of be a goldfish. So you can be upset about it for 30 seconds, but then you have to be a goldfish because they forget.
Oh,
every 30 seconds or however many seconds
right.
it is. They forget and they just move on.
I like it.
He started going with that when we started region play.
I'm going to tell your dad that next time he gets all crabby at me.
Tell him to be a goldfish.
I'm going to.
You should.
I'm going to.
I had to tell him that the other day.
That's great.
It was either during the region tournament or it was during
one of the
our
games.
district championship. One of the two.
Yeah.
And he was getting upset about something that hadn't even happened yet. I said, maybe you should follow your own advice and be a damn goldfish.
That's good.
And he just stared at me. It's like, yes, I'm using your words. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And walk away.
Yep.
Mic drop.
Yep. Pretty much.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Maddie, for doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Now we just got to get your dad
problem.
on here.
You have fun with that.
Yeah, I will. You have a good summer.
I will try.
And we'll see you again in August.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Could do another podcast.
Yeah, we can do another one. We should do another one like when your season starts up or like after your first practice or something. And you can give me like the rundown of your players, what you think right off the bat.
Ooh, I don't know if you want to see me in that state.
No.
I usually have very, very big first impressions. First impressions are big for me.
Oh,
yeah, first impressions are big for me. So, I mean, I usually judge pretty quickly after that.
Maybe we'll wait a few practices.
Maybe wait a few. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thanks, Maddie. And
of course.
Thank you to all of my fellow listeners for listening to another episode of Coaching, Caffeine, and Comedy. And I'm your host, Haley Kobza. And today we had with us Maddie Kaalberg, the MCC assistant softball. I almost said softball volleyball coach /
That's what you're trying to get me to be.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's what I said. You could be my assistant. The MCC assistant softball coach was with us today. But anyways, thanks again. And we will see you next Tuesday.